but the bright lights became less lustrous, nearing a darker spot of town. Where that was is not what it is today, where glamorous nightlife and prestigious clothing stores make a fashionable claim to being where the real dregs used to play. I couldn't imagine why Hank wanted us also posed at Greenwich and Little West 12th. Opposite us on two separate meatpacking district corners, two elegantly gowned, 6 feet something black men in high heels with suitcases by their feet treated cars cruising by as their tourist trap. I was about to pedal off when Hank pardoned them. Life lived for now. Crawling out of dirty holes is their prerogative. Then of all places for Mr. Greenway to have gone, he rolled up the 9th Avenue cobblestones to the tiny 7-story triangle building between 13th and 14th Streets. He put his bike against the wall in the middle of the block by an upright cellar door and shook hands with the man standing guard over the basement. I was stunned when I realized where he'd gone. This couldn't be Hank, despite our differences, but this was one of the city's most well-known dens of sin. Its defiant sign said so, hellfire. But as nonchalantly as you please, Hank waved me over. He insisted it was okay, and I went because I wasn't going in. Hank said, just Benjamin to be afraid of, my once-in-a-while messenger friend who invited me by. Benjamin said, going in? Gratis. I'll watch the bikes. Hank said, we have a lock. They're our responsibility. Mr. Trainer, going inside? Hank's friend laughed at my reaction while looking at him. Still messaging, I guess. Hank said, yeah, you haven't figured out how to stop since I started. Ben said, not me. I know more pleasant ways to beat myself up. Hank said, you don't say. Almost fascinating. Life good otherwise? Other than a doctor telling me to slow down, too much pressure on my heart? But who wants to stop living? Know what I mean? Exactly, Hank said. A whole team of healthcare professionals tried convincing me to find a safer lifestyle. Ben said, yeah, I heard. They say you could collect serious change if you weren't foolish. They call you a putz. They're right, and know too much for their own good, which was enough for me. I said, they're not here. Stop speaking for them. But Hank ignored that, focused instead across the street on what appeared to be a 16-year-old Puerto Rican girl in a miniskirt with her babysitter. Hank said, what do you know? Benjamin smiled. This. They've been out here all night, mostly the little one in and out of cars. A half hour ago, her friend counted out a wad of bills behind that Buick. It's in her sock underneath her jeans. Entrepreneurs, huh? Hank said. Quite successful. Both men smiled, but Hank's differed in detectable sadness. Then a slow black limousine was overtaken by a white stretch wanting to be first in line. The young girl showed respect for the car that demonstrated more desire, so the black one pulled away. Benjamin said, another one bites the dust. She lowered her real sweet grin below the limo's roof, leaving her right hand on top. Hank kept his eyes on the scene until both women got in the extra-large, comfortable machine that immediately, anxiously left to blend into the scene elsewhere. And Hank said, indifference cloaked in opportunity. Ben replied, Greenway, why you got to be so goofy? Hank's answer, I am who I am, aren't you? Drew Ben's laugh, and I am. So they continued verbal sparring into the cooler late hours of a soft, soothing, warm summer night. Benjamin endearingly greeting polite couples arriving to entertain deviant tastes. Writing now, as far as I know, I still feel guiltily grateful no one I knew happened by. Hank described his accident